This is my 2025 temperature scarf project video. Currently, it is the beginning of January 2026, so now we gotta go back in time to January of 2025. All right, so the last you saw me sitting here was last year talking about the 2024 temperature blanket. And I'm gonna talk to you today about what I'm doing for this year's temperature project, because it's not gonna be a blanket. I'm not doing that again. I don't need blankets. I need other things. Let's talk about what I'm gonna do. The last 2 years I've done temperature blankets. This is my 2024 temperature blanket. This is my 2023 temperature blanket. This one here, I hope future Michelle you wove it in the ends, because current Michelle doesn't want to do it. So last year, what I ended up doing was to calculate the average temperature. I would take the lowest temperature and the highest temperature, add them together, divide them by 2, and get whatever the average number was. Well, last year we had quite a few hot days that were like in the 80s. Almost reaching into the 90s, but because the average temperature, the lowest temperature brought that down, and I did not get to use the temperature for 80 at all in this blanket. I didn't really want to do that again this year, just because I'm just looking at a squirrel. He's just flapping his tail. Oh, there's another squirrel over there. Let him go. I feel like this didn't truly show what the year was like temperature-wise. So this year, I'm actually going to do the hottest temperature of the day. No averaging. Whatever the hottest temperature is, that's the color I'm gonna go with. The coldest time of day, I'm not awake for, okay? It's like probably 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning is probably the coldest time of day. I'm not too sure, it could be something else. Because of that, it doesn't make any sense for me to average it because I'm not awake. I'm not feeling that 60-degree weather in June. I'm feeling the 90-degree weather in June. I've decided to do it. The hottest temperature of the day is gonna be the color of the day. That's that. Again, I know I'm Canadian, but I'm doing Fahrenheit because Fahrenheit makes sense to me. I'm cold. It's cold in here, even though I have my heater on. This year, I'm actually gonna be doing a scarf. I'm gonna do a scarf because I feel like it'll be a lot easier. One row of the scarf is going to be one day. And I think that will be so much easier because with a blanket like this, I really couldn't work on it until the week was over because I'd have to go like forward and then backwards, say like those 2 rows was one day. So I couldn't just do it day by day. I'd have to do the whole week and then go back. Otherwise there'd be a lot of yarn just like hanging out everywhere and it just being like a mess to store. So I would just wait for the end of the week. Problem with that is that a whole month would go by and I realized I didn't work on it at all. That's why I'm not going to do a blanket. Also, I don't need that many more blankets, okay? I did buy fun colors for this one. These are some of the colors that I'm going to use. I think I brought that one in the house, but I don't know where I put it now. These are actually going to be the cooler tone colors. So this one here is going to be 0 to 19. This is the 20s color. This is going to be the 30 color, like the color that will be in the 30s. This one here is going to be the 40 color. And then this one here is going to be the 50 color. Now I still need a 60, a 70, and an 80, but I really didn't think it was important for me to buy them right now because I don't need them until like May, June. I do have the orange for the 60s. Don't know where that is right now. And then I also have like this one here, which I think I might make this one 70. I'm not too sure yet because 60 is actually this really nice bright orange that is, I think it's the Cascade Yarns is the orange that I bought that I really, really like. I bought it like prior because it was on sale and I'm like, I know I'm going to use this for something and I'm like, temperature blanket, gonna use it for the temperature blanket. So that's going to be 60. I think this might be 70 and then I think I might buy a brown for 80. There's the colors. Right now, these would be the colors that I would be using. I might not use this one that much. Again, I am doing the highest temperature and at the end of December, a few days, the highest temperature was 50. So I bought this just in case I am gonna need it. But I think for the most part, these 4 colors are what's gonna like basically map out the next 3-4 months. This one here I actually bought for the blue goose one and I had another idea for the yarn to buy. Then I was kind of thinking about it that looking at my past 2 temperature blankets, there wasn't a lot of times where the average temperature was below 20. So I didn't really think it was wise for me to buy a whole color like this to use it on like 3-4 days. So I'm just gonna use this blue, which I think will look really good going into this. It's a little bit, this one's a little bit darker in person. Yeah, those are the colors I'm gonna be doing. I don't know how wide I want the scarf yet, and I don't know what stitch I want to do for the scarf yet either. I have to go and look at other projects that I've done, because it's going to be, obviously, how many days is how many rows it's going to be. So I just have to figure out how big that's going to be, because I don't want it to be like a short scarf. So I might do a half double or a double crochet, so it's like a really, really long scarf that I can like wrap around myself a few times, you know, like to get like really nice and cozy. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, is I'm probably gonna do a half double or a double crochet for the stitches. Just something basic. Again, this is something that I'm gonna have to do every week, and I don't wanna make it more complicated than it has to be. This one, which I thought was gonna be very simple, and it just wasn't as nice as I'd like to, because switching the colors was just a hassle. Whereas this one, it's just all gonna be together. So I'm really excited to do that. I do have to wind these up though today, because it is now January the 5th, so I can start this project. But I'm really excited to start working on the 2025 temperature blanket thing. Or not a blanket, it's a scarf, thank gosh. Thank goodness it is a scarf, because I don't want to do another blanket. But yeah, I'm really excited to start this scarf, and then that way in 2026 I get to wear it. Imagine if I'm not into scarves next year. I sure hope I am. So yeah, that will do it for the intro of this video. Yeah, we'll just have to see how this year goes. This is the first video of my temperature. I keep wanting to say blanket, and it's not a blanket, and I'm so glad it is not a blanket. My temperature scarf for 2025. At the beginning of this project, I knew I was gonna do a scarf. I want to do a scarf. I've already started the scarf. But then I realized it is now the year of the snake, and I was born in the year of the snake in 1989. So I did technically live in the 80s. I don't remember any of it because I was only alive for a month and a half. And what does a scarf kind of look like? A snake. So I'm gonna be making a snake scarf. And the only really difficult part was maybe the head, and then I gotta figure out the tail, but for the rest of the months, it's just gonna be straight. Alrighty, this is the snake so far. This is January. I still have 11 more months to go, so this is gonna be a really long scarf, but honestly, I think that's gonna be okay, because I did make it a little bit shorter than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like maybe like this for a scarf, but because of how long it's gonna be, like when I wrap this scarf around me and get to wear it in 2026, wow, that's gonna be crazy to say. It's gonna build up layers, so it does not have to be too thick. So this is what I've done so far. Now I did have trouble with the head, so let's go through some footage about that. I kind of messed up on the scarf already. This will take me like a half hour to fix, so it's not a big deal. But for some reason, I thought I needed its head, and then it grows. No, I have a really hard time picturing what a snake looks like. So I think what I have to do is I have to take all of this off to like maybe here. I don't know, she's being a little ham. So I just gotta figure this out again, and I did buy myself this. I got this from like the Dollarama, but it's for 25 and 26. Also, like, I love how like retro this photo looks. Fell in love with this photo. I'm like, I have to buy it because I like writing it down. I went through like halfway through the month and was just kind of like keeping it in my phone, and I hated not having a physical copy of a calendar to write the dates in. So this is perfect. So I get to use it for 2 years. I've been writing the dates down. I just got to fill in this week, but I think I might take it apart, maybe even like up to here, and then just go straight. I mean, it doesn't have to look like a real snake. So I just got to figure that out. What I ended up doing was I think I got this, and then I ended up making it really, really small, and then I was going to widen it again. I'm like, that doesn't look like a snake. Like, a snake doesn't look like that. So I did have to take it apart yesterday. I think I got to like maybe here yesterday, or maybe even here yesterday, and I had to take all of that apart, and then I had to redo it just so that way it looks more like a snake shape. Actually, it turned out pretty good. I think I got like this much done yesterday, and it maybe took me like 40 minutes to do, so it's not too bad. Like, I literally can leave this to the end of the month to get it done. I kind of did wait a little bit long to do it, but only because I had to redo it, so I had to take it apart, but that's okay, because for the next 10 months, it's just going to be smooth sailing of just continuing the snake. It's just in December, I'm going to have to figure out how to decrease it to make a snake tail to like get back to a point. So that I'll figure out in December when I do it. Honestly, I could wait the entire month and do it all in one day and be completely fine, and I won't be stressing about it. I do have to weave in the ends. I might even put a border on him at the end. We'll figure that out when that time comes. But I'm really loving these colors. Again, I'm doing the highest temperature of the day, and the very first day of January, the highest temperature was 40 degrees. And that is why I have the little 40 color up here. I'm like, yeah, I get to start this project. Let's do it. Let's start this project. And then I looked at the temperatures and I'm like, I didn't wind up 40. I wound up, well, the 0 to 19 I already had, but I wound up the 20 and I wound up the 30 because I'm like, I'm not gonna need 40 or 50 for a while. And then I looked at the first day and it was 40. And I'm like, okay. But then I forgot what color 40 was, and I accidentally accidentally wound up this one, which is 50, and I'm not gonna need this until like, what, end of March? So I wound up this and I brought it in the house and I was all ready to go, and then I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't 40. So then I had to go back in here and wind up another one, just for one day. But I really love these colors. It looks like the average temperature is kind of in between the 20s and the 30s. This blue right here is 20. This dark blue is 0 to 19, and this teal color is the 30s. We had a few days, I think it was like 3 days in a row, that the average temperature was below 20 degrees Fahrenheit. But yeah, look how cute this snake is. And what's so funny is like right where this stripe is right where I'm gonna put like his eyes, because I'm gonna put eyes. I don't know what type of eyes I'm gonna get yet. I don't know if I want googly eyes or like felt eyes or like teddy bear eyes. I don't know yet, but I do want to put eyes on him. I love how it is going to be stripes, because like a lot of snakes out there have stripes on them, so I think it's so cool that it's going to be like a stripy snake, and I honestly cannot wait for the warmer months because I did go and buy the colors. I did not want to go and buy more yarn if I didn't need it. I mean, yes, I will need it, but I was gonna wait until like I actually had to go and buy the yarn. But here's the thing, there's this, I think it's a blanket or it's some type of project with Barocco Vintage or Barocco, or I think it's Barocco Vintage. And you have to buy so many colors, and every month you have to do it. It's like a monthly, like a yearly kind of project, and you work on some part of it every single month. I'm not too sure what it is. The Barocco Vintage is the brand that's doing it. And so everybody's buying their yarn. Again, from my favorite yarn shop, the Creative Knitter, I wanted this one particular orange. And she says a lot of the colors are selling out. The company itself is like back ordered because everybody's doing this project now. I'm not doing this project because it is a knitting project and I'm not quite there yet. I'm also working on this every month, so I don't need 2 monthly projects, but everybody has been buying these colors, and the one orange I need is from that line. So I had to buy the orange the other day just to get it out of the way. And then while I was there, well, if I'm already buying this orange, I might as well buy the other orange. And it's actually this dark kind of coppery brown orange that I'm gonna use for the 80s. And I'm so excited to use that because this year I get to actually probably put 80s, because the highest temperature last year was in the 80s, but because I had to average it, it went down. But yeah, basically this is the project and it is going so smoothly and I am very happy with it. But anyways, I think that pretty much sums up January. I'll catch back up with y'all in February. It's that time of month again where we go over the temperature scarf. Let's see, what do we got? What do we got? I am loving the fact that it is a scarf and not a blanket, okay? I can take 20 minutes out of my week to crochet the entire week, and it's so nice, okay? I love it. I'm still using my temperature blanket down here. I still haven't woven in the ends yet or have done a scallop border, so that's something that's gonna have to happen eventually, but the scarf is so good. I will have to weave in ends. I'll do that eventually. Let's unroll it and see how far we've gotten. There we go, that was a quick unroll. So from my hand down here to the top, that is February. The average temperature looks like it was between the 20s and the 30s. We did get some really cold days right here. Again, these are below 20 degrees Fahrenheit. And then at the end of the month, we got some really warm days. So I got to use the 40 right here. I still haven't done the eyes yet. I know I said I was gonna do the eyes. The eyes are in here. I'll do the eyes. I will do them. I just keep forgetting about them. Or if I remember, I'm like, oh, I don't have the thread to do it. And you know, it's a whole thing. This is the little snake so far. Look how cute these colors are. I am really excited to see how the 40s are gonna look with the 50s, because then that's when we're gonna get into the yellows and the orange colors, which I am so ready for. I love this color right here. It is such a beautiful color, especially how it goes with the 30s. So again, this one here is 40, this here is 30. But yeah, I really love these colors. The yarn is working out so well. I do have to admit I lost a color already. I don't need it for a while. I think it's the one for the 60s, and it's this really nice jack-o'-lantern pumpkin orange. It's the same brand as this, but I think it's called jack-o'-lantern or pumpkin. I think it's jack-o'-lantern. Bought it back in October, not really knowing what to do with it. I think it was like on on sale or something. I'm like, this is my favorite color, orange. I'll figure something out. And then temperature blanket came, or temperature scarf came along, and I'm like, I'll use it for this. Don't know where it is. I need to clean this out. I think I have to do another yarn cleaning video, but luckily it is not going to be as messy as before. I think a lot of the yarns were just from projects that I just haven't put away yet. I also need to get more bins, I think. But yeah, I gotta get on that because I need to find that orange soon. But yeah, so that is February right here, looking pretty cute. I'm really excited to see what colors are going to be for March. Okay, it is April, which means it's time to do the March temperature blanket. Temperature scarf. Keep saying blanket. 4 months in and I keep saying blanket. Temperature scarf project. Here's the snake. Let's do the little unveil. Okay, there we go. I did realize I messed up right here and I accidentally put an extra stitch. It's fine. I think I'm gonna do a border maybe, and maybe I'll fix it. Also, if you've kind of noticed, I wove in all the ends. I did it. I actually wove in the ends and it didn't take me that long to do. So I did weave in the ends, still haven't put his eyes on. March starts from down here and it goes all the way up to the top. Look at how cute these colors are. They're giving very like beach vibes, which I'm not really a beach person, but I really do like all these colors together. I love how like beachy they are. They're so cute. I did not weave in these ends yet. That was only from like a week or two ago, so it's fine. We started off pretty cold. I mean, we had one day that was below 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Is that the below 20 degrees? Yes, because that blue is 20. Sometimes I forget what colors are what. This dark blue is below 20 degrees, and then that was like probably the coldest day of March, and it's been getting pretty warm out, back into like the 40s, the 50s made an appearance. For like 1 week, the highest temperature of the day was in the 60s. That's what these oranges are. Those are the 60s. And then it got pretty cold again, and then it kind of got warm. Now it being April, it did get cold again, so I think most of the average temperatures for like the last 2 weeks in April, which I mean isn't on here because this is March, have been in the 30s and the 40s. So it's been pretty cold, and it's really cold right now. And I really don't want to film today because it's cold in here, but I really want to start working on the April ones, and I have to film March's update before I can even start April. But yeah, I think this looks really good right now. I love it so much better than the blanket. Okay, also I'm really cold in the blankets over there. I kind of feel bad for my blanket because it's like you wove in the ends for this and you won't weave in the ends for me. I'll do it eventually. I really do like the colors. I think that they're looking really great. I especially love the 30s and 40s together. The 30s are this dark teal and the 40s are this lighter blue teal here. And I love how they're blending in with the oranges and the yellows. This actually makes like a really cool sock. Like if this was a sock, that'd be really cool. I love the striping pattern, and you can definitely see the difference. So if I just do this, you can see how the colors have changed from like January and February to March. I am looking forward to getting into the warmer months. Also, I think I figured out what I'm gonna do if the highest temperature of the day reaches the 90s. I think I'm gonna go with a brown color because I already have it. And I think that will blend in good because for the 80s, I have like this darker like orangey red kind of color, and I think that will tie in great with brown. Although I don't think like the average temperature ever really gets to 90. It's kind of like 80 but feels like 90. We'll have to see when that happens, but I do have the yarn already. I think that pretty much sums up the temperature scarf for March. I'm just really cold right now and I really don't know what else to say, but we are getting into some fun colors now, and I really like how it's looking for March. Okay, here's the thing. It is the middle of May, and I'm finally doing my temperature scarf update for April. Honestly, I have just been pushing this and pushing this and pushing this. I don't know why, because every single time I'm like, I'm not ready to film it. I don't want to film it. And then when I sit down to film it, it only takes me like 10 minutes to do. And I'm like, oh, I probably should have done that. Temperature scarf update for April. Oh, every month I'm just like, I'm gonna put this out earlier at the beginning of the month. It never happens. Here it is. April is down here at this lovely little blue. All the way up to here is April. I actually did have to start a new color this month, this darker orange right here, which is 70. I wasn't too sure what I was gonna do for 70 because I had two oranges. I ended up picking this orange here for the 70s. It was between this one and the other one, but the other one was a little bit more lighter, very similar to this one. This one is for the 60s, and I wanted something to be a little bit more contrast, so I ended up going with this, and I think that's like pretty good. I know it's technically May now, and there was one day in the 80s already, and that means I have to line this little bad boy up. So this one here is what the 80s are going to be. April didn't have anything in the 80s, but I thought I would just show y'all now. So this is gonna be 70s, and this is what it's gonna look like into the 80s. I don't know if I'm gonna have to go into the 90s yet. Usually it's like high 80s, but never really reaches 90s in this area. But if it does, I'm kind of thinking maybe going with this chocolate brown color because I have a little bit left over, and I really don't think I'm gonna need the whole thing. And I don't wanna go out and buy another yarn for like maybe 1 or 2 days. It might reach the 90s. Still haven't put his eyes in yet. Still haven't put his eyes in. I know. As you can see, I have been weaving in the ends. Look at me. Look at me doing it. I just didn't do it the last week, which is fine. But I really love how these colors are looking. They're definitely looking very tropical, which was not my intention. I'm not a tropical person, but they are giving very beachy tropical vibes, and like, I'm not mad at it. But I wasn't going that way. I think the dark orange that I picked for the 70s was the right choice. I think it's gonna look so gosh darn good. I love this. I love doing a scarf. I don't know what I'm gonna do next year yet. Maybe another scarf, maybe like a chunky scarf or something different. Not a blanket, I'm done with blankets, I think. I'm excited to see what May, well, I kind of know what May colors. We've already gone into the 80s, but I have to wind it up and I haven't done that yet. So now I gotta probably do that today because I'm probably gonna work on this today. We are 4 months in, third way done the year. I can actually wear like a scarf right now. May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. I still have 8 months worth of scarf to go. And this is only 4 months long. So this is gonna like be a Doctor Who scarf, if anything. It's gonna like keep wrapping around my neck. Quite liking the colors, even though they're more tropical than I thought. That's the April update. I wanted to get this done earlier. It's the middle of June again. I'm so bad at leaving the video to the last minute, and then I can never work on the scarf until I do the video, so then y'all can see what I did. You know what I mean? So anyways, let's just do the little update. What do we got? What do we got? Okay. May started all the way down here, and as you can see, there has not been anything in the 40s at all this past month, because now it's June. But look at these. Also, isn't it funny how like these 3 chunks almost look like candy corn? I am a fan of candy corn, but I can only eat so much before it bothers my teeth. But like, look at these colors. They're so, I feel like they're giving desert vibes. Very like deserty. But I think it looks pretty good. Like, look at how far like we've gotten. This is almost half a year. I still haven't put the eyes in, I know. But like, look at the beginning of the year was all these dark blue colors, and now we're into May. They're so neat, and I love how it transitioned, because you kind of got all those like nice little blues and the yellows kind of mixed in there, so it got away from all of the dark blues and greens, and then they got this, which is I think like April, March, and then we get right into May, and it's all of these dark colors. So far, we've only had 1 day in the year as of May, okay? I haven't touched June yet. In May, it has been in the 80s, and that's this dark kind of orangey color here, and I just think it looks so good. I'm also so glad that I went with this darker orange for the 70s, because remember I was like kind of hemming and hawing and I wasn't too sure if I wanted to do it. Very glad I did it because I love how it looks. And also, if you've noticed, I've weaved in the ends. I learned my lesson from last year because I still haven't woven in those ends to that blanket, and I still haven't done a border. It's already halfway through the next year. I'm really glad I did go with the new system of just picking whatever the highest temperature of the day was as the color, because otherwise I don't think I would even be able to get to use this color here. Also, I feel like these would be a lot more blue tones because I would be averaging. But anyways, I do really like how this is looking so far. I'm really excited to start working on the June one to see how June is going to be color-wise. I mean, it is the perfect scarf, and I still have a whole half a year to keep going. Time for the June temperature scarf update. All right, this is how long the scarf is. It keeps going. It keeps going. And yes, I still haven't put the eyes on the snake. I know I need to put the eyes on the snake. I need to do it. For June, it starts down here and it goes all the way up here. This orange right here is 70, and this dark burnt orange is the 80s, okay? As you can see, it has jetted out a little bit only because I didn't stick to the same yarn. It's a little bit thicker just because this is, I think, 100% wool. Like, this is Cascade wool yarn, and then this is like an acrylic wool blend. So yeah, it does look a little bit wider, but when I put a border on it, I think it's gonna look fine. But again, I can't do the border until the whole scarf is done. It's been very hot. I haven't even started July, and a lot of the days, the highest temperature has been 80, so we're gonna be seeing a lot of this. This is why I changed up how I wanted to do my temperature scarf. Last year, I don't even think I used a color for the 80s, and the year before, I think it was like 1 day. the average temperature was in the 80s. And so that's why I wanted to do the highest temperature, because when you think about it, when I'm out and about and up during the day, I'm living through that high temperature, okay? When the low temperature happens, I'm sleeping. It's the middle of the night. I'm also doing the highest temperature according to Apple weather on my phone, because that's where I get my weather from, and so that's what I'm going. So I think some apps or some weather things are saying, oh, 90 is the highest, but mine hasn't said 90. Yesterday, it did say 89, so it was very close. And I do have a color just in case it does ever reach the highest of 90, and that's gonna be this dark brown color, and I think that's gonna look really good if I need to use it. I hope I don't. I'm really lucky to live in an area where it doesn't get into the 90s or the hundreds. I'm not a summer person. I like the fall, and I am looking forward to it every day. I love the sunlight, I love the trees, you know, I like not always having to wear a coat outside. Personally, I'd rather wear a coat outside, even though it's bulky and you can never see my outfits, and I feel very unmotivated to dress nice in the wintertime because I'm always wearing a jacket. I'm fine with that. So I think the average temperature for June was in the 70s. At the very beginning of June, we did get a little bit of 60s here, and then it just kept going. So I'm really interested to see what July is going to be. Actually, what am I saying? I'm so excited to see what July. Have I written it down yet? I don't think I've written it down. I like having these little books. Why I like having a physical book is I like writing. Everything I do is digital, but if I can do something analog, I will, such as writing in a book. But what I like about this is I'm already leaving myself notes for December, so then that way when December comes, I'm like, oh right, I wanted to do that, and a note might get lost in my phone, you know, the notes app and stuff. I might accidentally delete it, not knowing what I'm talking about, but if it's in here, I know it's regarding the temperature scarf. Okay, I've written down the first week of July. I haven't done last week's yet, but so far it's the 80s and the 70s. But I think this has turned out really cool. I love seeing the difference. It's so neat seeing the contrast of January versus June. January was all these blue colors, and for June, it's all these like orangey colors, so it's really interesting. And then you kind of get this blend of colors in between. It's going to be very interesting to see how the fall is going to be. I feel like the last few falls, like September and October, have been kind of warm, so that's going to be, again, interesting. I know I keep saying that, but I am excited to see what it's going to look like, but I don't want to rush the year. I feel like July is going to look exactly like June. It is time for the July temperature update. I just kind of left it and left it. The other day I'm like, oh right, it's August. I should probably start crocheting July. Oh, look at that. Look at the colors. That's neat. Okay, so we are officially more than halfway done the year now. It's a lot of oranges, okay? I think it starts... I have not woven in the ends in quite a while. I think like it's been like, I think the last time I wove it in was here, so not too bad. Oh no, up here. It's not as bad just because I'm doing two colors, so it's just kind of going back and forth between two colors. July has been a really hot month. You see all this dark orangey kind of color? That's in the 80s. Although I have not gotten a day where it has been in the 90s where I have lived, like the highest temperature, so it is what it is. I don't think it's gonna get to the 90s, so I don't even think I need to use the other color, which is a dark brown, but this is what July looks like right now, or what it does look like, what it looks like right now. It's not changing, this is it. And then if we look over here, that's June. June had a big stretch where the average temperature was in the 70s. It looks like the average temperature in July was 80. Look at all that dark color. Also, like, I love how these stripes are looking. They look so cool together, and I love that. But yeah, we are officially done July, and we're going into August. It's actually August the 12th, I think, right now. I really don't know what else to say because nothing has changed. Everything's been exactly the same since June and July. July has been a little bit hotter, as you can see. I mean, it's looking pretty much the same. I do notice a difference in the yarn. This here is with the Barocco Vintage, and it does say it's a 4 medium worsted weight yarn, but then down here, this is with the Cascade, and it is 100% wool, just ever so slightly thicker, so you can definitely see the difference. So when I eventually will be putting a border, I think I'm going to be doing a black border around the whole thing, which I think I have black yarn for it. And then every time it's the new month where I keep these little things, I think I might put like a little white stitch, and then that way you can tell when like it changed. I think I want to do that. So when I do the border, I feel like this might even itself out a little bit. It is quite long. Like, this is very, very long already. Look at the difference between the beginning of the year and it right now. I love that contrast. I'm gonna be really interested to see how the end of the year is gonna be. Like, is it gonna be this blue? Are we gonna get like more yellows in there? Yellows is 50. Are we gonna get more greens, which is like the 30s and the 40s? It is very long already. Like, oh my goodness, okay? This is what it looks like. This, oh right, I have a little snake head. Still haven't put the eyes on yet. But yeah, this is where it is right now. But I still have August, September, October, November, December. I still got 5 months to go before this guy's done. That's a long time. That's a real long time. I remember when I was first showing y'all this, I think I had, where is that? There it is. I remember like this being it and being like, it doesn't look like a snake right now. And it's pretty long right now, which is crazy to think about. Next year, I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I definitely like doing something. Honestly, I wish I could give a better update for right now for July, but it's the same. So, you know, I'll just catch up back with y'all at the end of August and hopefully something's different. Maybe we'll add a different color in here. Maybe we'll get back down to the 60s, which would be really nice. But for right now, this is July. It is time now for the August temperature blanket update. Usually I film these videos in my other room, but the little light that's attached to my camera, I didn't charge it. So I'm just using the big light that I can plug in that never dies. August, I feel like really nothing happened because here's the thing. It was July and now it's September. I don't know what happened to August. I just remember being like, ooh, we have the whole month of August to do things. And then it was like August the 24th. And I'm just like, wait a minute. We only have like a week left of August. What happened? That was my kind of like attitude towards August, is just, I don't remember it. August update. I love how this looks. So August is from this little stitch marker all the way up here. We finally got back into the 60s. I'm so tired of the heat. August was pretty much all 80 and it was just awful and I hated every second of it. And then near the end of August, it got into these cooler days and I was just so excited because I can bust out the sweaters again and I'm so excited. Also, I never took the sweaters to my storage unit like I said I should. So technically I don't have to go to my storage unit to get them because they're already here. I still have to organize them though. Look how hot this summer was, okay? This is August, this is July, this is June. Okay, June we started off a little bit cool and I was like hopeful that maybe it wouldn't be too hot. That lasted literally 3 days, okay? I believe this yellow one here was the high of 50. That was June. And then we got 60, 60, and then the highest temperature has not been lower than 70 or 80 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? And then at the very end of August, we got some of this going on. It was a very hot month. I still have to weave in my ends. I haven't done that since May. I think it's because once May hit, I'm like, I gotta do all these summer projects, and then this one just kind of got set on the back burner and I proceeded to forget about it. The other day, I'm just like, right, it's September and I hadn't even started crocheting anything for August. We are down to 4 more months of the temperature blanket and then it's done, and I haven't thought of what I'm going to do for next year because I do like doing these videos. I like having something to talk about every month. I love having like a yearly roundup video of like everything I've done, and like my hairstyle keeps changing. Today I think I do need to cut my bangs. They're a little bit long and it's annoying me. It's been a month. It's look at this. Look at this chunk of just 80. Although it has not been 80 since this chunk. So hopefully I won't have to use this color again. I did not have to use the color of dark brown at all for the highest of 90 in my area. My Apple weather did not say that it was 90. It could have been 90. It could have been 90 in other places. It could have been 90 for a split second, and then it went back down to 89. I did get a lot of 89s. Where I get my temperature, where I get my weather, it never said the high was over 89. Maybe other weather networks said it was 90, but I'm going off of one source because I don't want to have a bunch of multiple sources, and you know what I mean? Just I stick to the one and done. So I use the Apple weather on my phone and that's what it said. I feel like August was just kind of like a boring month. Nothing really happened. I think I'm a little bit, I wouldn't say stressed out, but I think that I have so many projects going on for September and October and November that I kind of wanted August to get over with, and that way I can start those projects and get them done with. There's some things that I really want to start doing, but I don't think I'll be able to do them until January, okay? That is how far advanced my projects are, is that the big projects that I would like to start doing, I don't know if I'm going to have time till January, okay? I feel like once November is over, it will settle down which I am very excited for. But until then, I got a lot of fall projects I gotta start, and I gotta start today. That's a little update for August, so I will catch back up with you in September. It is time for the September temperature scarf update. I only have 3 more months of this scarf to go, but I am so tired of it. I know, I don't know, I'm just so tired of this scarf and I don't know what to do about it. In my head, I'm like, okay, well, what am I gonna do next year? Because do I wanna do another scarf? Do I wanna maybe even like dabble in maybe knitting something instead of crocheting it? But crocheting it is so much easier, but I do wanna get into knitting next year. That was kind of my goal for this year, and that didn't really happen. Let's just get right into September's temperatures. Look at this. This almost looks like a thermal image. September was a very warm month. It started off promising. From here all the way up to here is September. End of August was like getting really nice into the 60s, and I'm like, ooh, September's gonna be nice and cool and I'll be able to wear sweaters every day and be like cozy. And then it just switched up and it was pretty much in the 70s the entire time. And 2 times it was in the 80s. It was a very warm September. I was kind of hoping that maybe the highest temperature would have been in the 60s, but the majority of the time it was pretty much all the 70s. The very beginning of September, like this little chunk here, was the 60s, and that week was amazing and I absolutely loved it. And then the rest have been really warm. This is how much orange I have left for the 70s, so hopefully it cools down and I won't run out of this because I really don't want to buy another one. So hopefully the temperature does not go back up to the 70s that much this month because I don't want to run out of yarn. The way that I can describe September was like what summer used to feel like. You know, it was warm outside, but no humidity. This September is how I wish summer would always be. Like, yes, it was in the high 70s and even the 80s 2 days, but no humidity. I wasn't sweating. It was just nice and warm. And that's what I liked about summer before, but now it's like, you know, super hot out and I can't stand it. For me, when September hits, like that was back to school, and back to school meant like the beginning of fall, even though fall doesn't start till like the end of the month. When you went back to elementary school, there was fall leaves everywhere and it said back to school, and it was more on the fall side than the summer side. I think in my head, it's just September equals fall. So that's the only way that I can put it. So that's why I was a little disappointed with how warm it was. I'm that person that likes it when it gets dark outside. Like when it gets dark at 6 p.m., I'm like, ooh, I don't have to leave the house now. There's no reason for me to leave the house now. It's dark outside, nice and cozy, and I can just sit in bed and crochet. And I'm trying to make my room very cozy this year. I'm also trying to make this room more cozy, so I want to spend more time in it, and I want to like winterize this. So that might be more talked about in November, but I do want to winterize it a little bit. I want this place to be more cozy. I want my room to be more cozy. I just want a very cozy fall and winter, because winter, it is a little bit gloomy, and I know that's a little bit away, like 2 months away still. If I'm like nice and cozy and warm and happy, then I don't mind the winter. There's that, you know, if I can just stay inside and crochet all day, I'm happy with that. It's kind of hard to look at my last year's temperature blanket, this one, to really see what the temperature was last year, only because I did the average temperature and not the highest temperature between the 2023 temperature blanket and the 2024 temperature blanket. I switched up 2 colors. It was the 70s and the 60s. One year the 70s was brown and the 60s were orange, and then the next year I switched it and made the 70s orange and the 60s brown. So I really don't know which is which right now. Right before it gets into this green color, because I think that was like October, like down here was also 60s, 70s. I can't remember which one was which. Almost the same in temperature, but I don't remember there being a high of 80. But if there was a high of 80 and the lowest was like 60 something, the average would have brought down to 70. That's why I like doing the way that I'm doing it now, where I'm not doing the average temperature, I'm just doing the highest temperature of the day. It also saves me from doing math. But anyways, I digress. I feel like September was maybe a little bit more warmer than last September. That is the update for September, and I'll catch back up with you for October's update. Here's the thing, I kind of fell behind on the temperature scarf again. I don't think that surprises anybody that I am behind on the temperature scarf, but I got 2 more months and I'm already kind of excited for next year's project, and I'm also kind of done with this one. So let's do the little update for October. Today is November the 9th. and it is freezing rain. So I don't know if you can kind of hear that. A little bit of freezing rain outside, and I just got home with my large ice cap because even when it snows and it's cold out, I will get that ice cap. Also, it's kind of gloomy today, and I just want to get back in the house, be cozy, and binge watch Stranger Things because Stranger Things comes out at the end of November. Anyways, it's longer than I thought it was going to be, and next year I have a different plan. And I have a different yarn choices. I know, I'm not even done this and I'm already pre-planning. Where does October start? October starts right here. It started off in the 60s, then it got back into the 70s, then it was even in the 80s for one day. The high was 80 degrees in October. It went back down to the 70s for one day, and then it went into the 60s, the 50s, and then it jumped back up to the 70s, and then it jumped back down to the 50s, and then for 2 days in a row, the high was in the 70s again, and then it's just been strictly 50s until like one of the last days of October where it dipped down into the 40s, and I got to use this teal color. I forgot I had this teal color because I took all the yarn out of the bag, and I must have left this one at the back of the bag, and I was looking at this other teal color. I'm like, this doesn't look like the color I would have had for 40s. And then I went back into the 50s, and then in November, because it is like a week into November now, it has kind of consistently stayed in the 50s, but now it's like dipping down into the 40s. I finally got to use the 50s. This is the first time I got to use the 50s since, keep it in my little book. Yeah, the last time I got to use the yellow, which is for the 50s, was the last day of May, and that was 57 degrees was the highest, and then you got a few 60s, and everything pretty much has been 70s and 80s since, and even well into September. Like September was down here. It basically stayed in the 70s, went a little bit 60s, 70s, 80s, 70s. This is September, okay? Right up till October. And then you can see that it has gotten a lot colder. It's a very long scarf, and I haven't woven in ends since probably, well, if this is October, this is September, this is August, this is July, June. June was the last time I wove in ends. I should probably get on that again, and hopefully it won't turn into like last year's project where I still haven't woven in the ends and I still haven't done a border. I've been meaning to do it. It's just my problem is if I work on that project, that means a newer project I won't have the time for. I kind of have to like pick and choose my projects, and sometimes when something's done, I'm like done with it. But I would like to go and fix it and do like a dedicated video to fixing that project, and I think I will in the new year, but like my November is like book packed with things that I want to do. Also, I think November is going to be my last month of me doing it like this. Once December hits, that's when I'm gonna have to start making it a tail, because if anyone's remembered, and I still haven't put the eyes on, and that was something I wanted to do in January. It's a snake because it is the year of the snake, and I was born in year of the snake, so I wanted to make a snake scarf. We have his little head, I need to make his little eyes, and then I have to do the tail. So November is gonna be the last month of me doing it normal, and then in December I'm gonna have to start, you know, tapering it off to the end of the tail, and I'll have to figure out how that's gonna look. October has 31 days and December has 31 days. So if this is, so say if we're gonna say this is like December, maybe I'll do like half the month normal, and then maybe the rest of the month I'll slowly taper it in. I think that's a good idea. This is it right now. How am I gonna wear this thing? It's way too, it's really long. I might have made it really long. This is how long it is right now, and I still have 2 more months of this. But what I do like about this scarf is that, unlike the blanket, if I didn't do it for a month, like if I just kept putting it off for a whole month, the end of the month, oh my goodness, I'd be so mad at myself because it was a blanket and it would take like the whole day to like catch up. Where this is a scarf, I think I caught this up in like, I think I was like halfway through an episode of Stranger Things, and then I was done, I was halfway through another episode of Stranger Things. So like, what episode of Stranger Things? I got caught up, so it's okay. For October, I think the most used color was probably in the 50s, but I really love how these colors are looking, and I love how like it's slowly going back into here, because you can see it here where it went from the blues, and then it went into here, and then it went, and you can kind of see it, you know, gradually going into the darker colors, right? So we got the darker colors. These 2 colors are so neat. And then you can kind of see it, how it's going back into the cooler colors now. That's exciting. 2 more months of this, and then the scarf will be done. And I probably should weave in these ends sooner than later. I have been putting off this November temperature scarf for so long because every time I come in here to film it, I'm always filming like something else. So I'll film the other thing first. Then my plan is to film it, but my battery has died or it's just too cold. Anyways, we're gonna discuss the November one now. This is November. And what's so funny is that I was like really good at getting the month done early so that way I could film it at the end of November, and then that didn't happen. This is the temperature scarf. Just seeing how long it is already, I don't know what I'm gonna do for next year. Like, I like the idea of like a scarf rather than a blanket, although I am using the blanket right now to sit on because the floor is cold. I do have my little heater going, and it's been going for like a half an hour, and the temperature on the heater says 0 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's cold. Usually when I come back in here, it says 6 or something. Not today. Anyways, I have it blowing right on me, so hopefully I won't be that cold. Anyways, here is the update. November. From this little thing up here down, so that is November. It wasn't too bad. November was actually not too cold. The dark color here is 30, so it did kind of start off a little, well, it started off really warm in the 50s, and then it got a little colder, and then it just kind of kept going back and forth until basically the end of the month when it did dip back into the 30s for the highest temperature. We went from October, which, you know, we still got the 70s. Like, the beginning of October was still in the 70s, and then you saw it really dip down, and then now you can really see the colors change for November. So like, if you look here to here was October, and now here all the way down here is November. One more month to go. I only got one more month to go. I did weave in my ends up to November, so that's one less thing I gotta do this year, because the blanket that I'm currently sitting on is last year's temperature blanket, and I still have not woven in those ends. And I still haven't done a border on it, which I really wanted to do and just never got around to it. So maybe next year I'll do it. It is nice seeing these blue colors again. They're so pretty, because the last few months have just been orange, and yes, favorite color, love it. It's nice seeing a new color. I honestly don't have anything else to say for November. Got one more month to go, and then we can do the finale, and then I get to start this all over again, which I still have no idea what idea I want to do. I don't even know if I want to do a temperature scarf. I might want to do like a different project, but I still like the month-to-month projects where at the very end of the year I can put everything together and kind of see how my year went. So I definitely love doing these year-end videos. I just don't know what I want to do for next year. Can you believe that it is finally the end of the year? I can't believe that it's already the end of the year. Like, where did the year go? I felt like working on this temperature scarf, it was like, okay, month after month after month. And the last few months just kind of flew by, but the scarf is done, and it may be a little long. Here is the scarf. Also, I put his little eyes on. I put him on this like blue stripe because I feel like if I put it lower, it would look like he would have a unibrow. This is what it looks like balled up. It looks almost like a thermal imaging, like a weather map. Let's just quickly go over December, and then we will dive into the whole thing. The December started right here, and that's how it looks. I will admit, I forgot I had to make a tail. I was actually down, I think I was like somewhere like here, and I'm like, I didn't taper it in. So that was a whole thing. I don't know if I should have started the tail a little bit earlier. I think it looks okay. This is December, from this light blue all the way to the tail. This teal color here was 30, and this like blue color here was the 20s. Dark blue was under 20, so I think it was like 19 or something like that. And then it like picked back up into like the 50s and the 40s. I really like how those colors look. I do think in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have picked the blue and the turquoise so close together because they kind of blend in. That's December. That's really all I can talk about. Somewhere down the line, I got kind of mixed up. And by that, I mean, every time I would start a new row, I would be on one side. So I would always go there, back, start a new color, or continue if it was the same temperature. And then at one point, instead of stopping here, I stopped on the other side, and then I continued down for a bit. And I'm like, something's not right. And then I figured it out. I'm like, oh, I think it was in like October. This was the side that I kept doing it on. And then where was it? I think around here. Around here, I started, for some reason, I went over one, and I think it was with the yellow. It didn't really affect anything because I think it was just this chunk of yellow, so it doesn't really bother me. I don't think you really can see a difference of what happened. This scarf is very long. I'm going to measure it a little bit later. I probably should have measured it beforehand, but I didn't. Well, the one thing that I was planning on doing, and I even wrote it in my notes for December, like being like, hey Michelle, when December comes, don't forget to do this. And I was like, no, past Michelle, I'm not doing this. And that was, I was going to put a border around the snake. And my idea was I was gonna use black yarn, and then every time a month started, that's why I left these little guys here. Every time a month started, I was going to put in one little or two single crochets of white, just so I could see when the month started and ended. But this is a very, very, very long scarf, and I do not want to put the energy in doing that. Okay, I wove in the ends. Let's call that enough. Because you know how I am about weaving in ends. I still haven't woven in the ends to my temperature blanket that I made last year. And I still didn't put a border on that. I thought this scarf was really a fun idea, especially because it was Year of the Snake last year, and I was born in Year of the Snake, so I felt like a snake scarf definitely needed to be made. He's got his little head, and then at the very end, he's got a little tail. But it's a very long scarf, okay? This almost reminds me of like the old school Doctor Who scarf. It is a nice scarf, it's just a little too long. So if I did something maybe like this, and then I could do it like even that, it's so long. I honestly didn't think that this scarf was gonna be as long as it is, okay? I really didn't expect it to be this long. But it's okay, I think it's really cute. It was really fun. It did teach me a lot about what not to do for next year. So first thing is, if you're gonna do a temperature scarf or a temperature blanket or anything, try to stick to the same brand of yarn. And I thought I did that. Kinda. I stuck with worsted yarn, but I did not stick with the same brand. I ended up picking colors from, I believe, Estelle Worsted, Barocco Vintage, and Cascade 220. And Cascade 220 is wool. That would be these oranges. Not this orange, but this orange right here was that. And I think the dark orange. And so when I would go back, like right here's a clear example, from the Cascade into, Again, I don't know if this is Estelle or Barocco. It does kind of taper in, and it's not because I missed a stitch or anything. It's just the Cascade was just a little bit thicker than the other yarn. That kind of caused a little bit of a problem, but I mean, like, it's fine. I also thought that putting a border around it would fix that issue, but I'm not doing that now. I'm gonna be doing it again next year. I don't know if this will be the last time I'm doing it because they are pretty tedious, and I don't know how many scarves or blankets I need in my lifetime. I'm definitely doing it a little different next year. Now let's go figure out what the most used color was versus least. Least, we can get that out of the way. That would be 20 and below. So like 19 degrees Fahrenheit and below was the least used color. I mean, I guess the least used color, if you want to get really into it, would be this brown that I have that I was going to use if it went over 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It said it did sometimes, but then when I would look on my app at the end of the day, it said the highest was 89. So it was very close to 90, but it never really happened. So like I never got to use this brown, but this brown I didn't buy for the project. It was just a brown that I had laying around just in case I needed it. I did have it. And then this is a blue that I don't think I bought for this project either. I think this is the Blue Goose. Remember when I made the Blue Goose tapestry? It's hung up in their shop, and every time I go in there, I just love it. I'm pretty sure this is the yarn that I bought for the Blue Goose, so I just use this for my 19 and below. Again, not really used. I can definitely see that this one is the most used one, but the rest of them, really hard to tell. So I think I'll have to go back and make a little tally. I'll do that a little bit later, and then I will show you. I am now going to measure the snake. I just laid it out this way so y'all can see how big this snake is. This is what it looks like, and now I'm going to measure it and figure out how long this is. The length of this scarf is 4 meters and 65 centimeters, 15 feet. Well, it's actually like 15.25 feet. It's very, very long. I've also calculated the amount of colors used. The color that was used most was this orange here. This represents the 70 degrees, and it was used a total of 76 times. And the one underneath it that was used the most was 50. 50 was used 57 times, and then under that, which was, I believe, this dark teal color, which very hard to believe, but I guess so. This dark teal color was used 56 times, and this was 30 degrees Fahrenheit. The most used colors was 70, 50, and 30. I love the concept of the scarf. I love how it looks. I mean, technically, I could just hang this up on my wall, just have it like as a banner, because you know how much I love like a crochet banner, even though I don't have a lot of them. And that way I can like see it all the time, because scarf wise, I don't know if I'm gonna wear it that much. My one friend at work, I'm always talking to her about it, so I do have to wear it to work at one point, so that way I can show her it. I did enjoy doing it. I like the idea of a scarf. It was less stressful than a blanket. Like in the previous years when I would do blankets, I would do back and forth, so I would technically have to wait for the week to end in order to do that. Otherwise, I'd be doing like a little bit, and then I'd have to go back. So I would wait for the end of the week, or me, I would wait to the end of the month because I would just literally forget. Where this, I could just do it day by day. If I wanted to crochet it every day, I could. I didn't, but I could. I'm saying that I could have done it. I do think next year I'm going to do it a little differently. One row is a day and then back is another day. And then that way I don't end up with this really long scarf because I didn't expect it. The scarf would technically be half the size. You know, the first few months went by and I'm like, it's fine. And then it just kept going and I'm like, ooh, I've made a little bit of an error, but I can't fix it now because I don't want to fix it and go back and fix it. I think the colors look so cool together. It's so funny because I feel like I have to explain this scarf to y'all, but I've kind of explained it every single month, so I don't really know what else to really say about it. That's technically it, I guess. So yeah, the temperature scarf is done for 2025, and now it's time to start my 2026 temperature scarf. In the comments below, let me know if any of y'all have done a temperature scarf, a temperature blanket, a temperature project this past year. Did you follow through with it or did you give up? Because I'm gonna be honest, if I was not filming myself every single month and knowing I had a video at the end of it, I probably would have given up. Let me know in the comments below if you did some type of temperature project for 2025 or if you are planning on doing one for 2026. I think that does it for this video, so y'all have a good day now.